Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and once again I'm coming to you with another field strip video. And today's field strip video is going to be on an AR-15 style rifle, and this is going to be the LMT Defender 2000. And I know some of you are saying, why in the world are you doing a field strip video on this gun? It's just an AR-15. Everyone knows how to do it. And you'd be mostly right. However, the Defender 2000 does have a short stroke gas piston system, which is very reminiscent of the AR-18, and thus it does disassemble a little bit different. And that's what I want to show you guys today. So let's go ahead and drop the magazine, ensure that there is no ammunition. We will turn the gun over. We will now pull the charging handle back, ensure that there is no ammunition in the firearm, and visually inspect that chamber. And it looks like we are good. Let's turn the gun back over. Put the firearm on safe. Now I'm going to take a little rag and put under the receivers. Now the receivers of these LMT firearms sometimes can fit a little bit tight. It's just because they're high quality. So sometimes these pins are not going to be easily pushed out. So I put a little rag underneath the receivers here, and I'm now going to push out these pins using a little punch. I'll start with the back one, and now we can hinge the upper and lower. And now let's go to the front here, and I'll push out that one, and there we go. Now I can pull off the lower receiver, and that's a pretty standard lower receiver for any AR-15. Nothing too special over there. We can now set that aside. Now let's pull out the charging handle. We can pull out the bolt carrier, and if you notice, the gas key is a little bit different. In fact, that's not even a gas key. It's just the plate where that piston strikes the bolt carrier and pushes it backwards. Set that aside. We will now pull out the charging handle. We will now go to the front of the firearm, and this is where things get a little bit different. Up here we have that piston system. We have a little detent on the side. We will push that and rotate this cap to the halfway position, and now we can pull out the whole piston mechanism and the spring. So now the upper receiver is field stripped. Then we have the piston. We can pull off the spring, and we can pull the piston out of the little front cap, just like that. We can set that aside. Now we can take apart the bolt carrier. You might need to have a little pick for this. We will pull out the cotter pin like normal and set that aside. Then the firing pin comes out. Push the bolt back, rotate the cam pin, pull that out, and now we can take out the bolt, put the carrier aside, and using our little pick here, we can now push through the pin for the extractor, pull that out, put that aside, and then pull off the extractor. And there we go. That is everything to field strip the LMT Defender 2000. It's a lot more parts than your standard AR-15. So let's clean this gun up and let's put it back together. All right, so we got this gun all cleaned up, so let's start putting it back together, and let's start with the bolt first. Let's go ahead and install the extractor. Put the extractor in the bolt, take the pin, push it through, make sure everything lines up like it should, and there we go. And to make sure it goes in all the way, I'll use the tip of the firing pin to make sure it is even, and that is now back together. Let's take the bolt carrier, let's put that bolt in, of course making sure the extractor is facing the correct side. Go ahead and line up where the cam pin will go. Insert that cam pin, rotate it 90 degrees, pull out that bolt. We can now put in the firing pin and the cotter pin. And now our bolt carrier is back together. Let's set that aside, and now let's take the upper receiver, and we're going to put the piston back in. So we'll set that here. We'll take the cup of the front of the piston system. We'll insert the piston itself. We will then put on the spring, and now going in from the front, you got to make sure it lines up in that halfway position like we disassembled it. And sometimes this can take a moment to kind of put it through the channel here. And there we go. and it should go all the way on. Then we're going to rotate it this way. We'll push that detent in and it should lock into place. And now our gas piston system is back in the gun. Turn the receiver upside down. We will insert the charging handle and the bolt carrier. That's all back together now. I'll close the dust cover for now. Let's now grab the lower receiver. Of course, make sure that the takedown pins are out. Put the upper on the lower. Make sure everything lines up. Push those pins through. There we go. And let's insert the magazine. And it looks like we're good. Let's check for function. Pull that bolt carrier back. Looks like we're good. The gun locks open. Go to this side. Close that bolt. Looks like we're good. We know the gun is safety checked. So let's go ahead and pull that trigger. Let's try that all again. Looks like we're good. And the gun is back together. So there we go. That is a field strip and reassembly of an LMT Defender 2000 with that gas piston system. So I hope this helps somebody in the future, because as I said, this disassemble is just a little bit different than your standard AR-15. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.